Hey Clashers, ring bases are as powerful as never before right now, and one of the main reasons for this is, that's right, you all know it, it is the Rage Tower. Incredible powerful right now. Some would say the most busted defense we ever had on Town Hall 15, but there's a couple of more tips and tricks you should for sure know how to use them, how to counter them, and we're going to talk about them. Because there is a new meta and how to build those ring bases and what the ring bases are looking like. Because last couple of months, the ring bases have looked exactly like this. You have the town hall in the middle, and then you have like two lines of defenses on the left and on the right of the town hall, for example. But this kind of has changed. Now you have two clear boxes of rage towers on one of the sides of the town hall and on the other side. So those rage towers now take more place, which means before that you have tried to put everything into a kind of small core, but by now the cores have expanded quite a bit to make sure that you're using this insane range of the rage tower as effectively as possible. To make sure that in the middle of the base there is a lot of open spaces, which is really important, because those open spaces then gives you the opportunity to place a lot of traps against, for example, super archer blimps. Because whenever there's a ring base, a lot of people are saying, well, this is a free, given, gifted, presented 3-star for any Super Archer Blimp attackers. Well, let me tell you this, my defense rate for his Super Archer Blimps is right now 80% 1-stars, which is kind of crazy to think about. But why is that the case? Well, overall the reason is the setup of the base, and that the majority of Super Archer players, especially on middle trophy ranges, really go for the most obvious blimps. And with this setup, there is one obvious blimp. I mean, that's how you can say it. And this is the blimp around the monolith. Earlier, you might have expected the eagle next to the town hall. This is how most of the old bases have looked like. But the eagle close to the town hall gives you less freedom regarding traps. With the monolith now next to it, this means there's more open areas for traps. And this is horrible for any Super Archer Blimp attacker, as you might see right here. And, well, another problem for Super Archer Blimps versus this current style of ring base is just overall the clear distance between the two rage towers. Because even, let's imagine you're getting one of those two blimps done. I think, well, you have to say it as it is, you need the warden to make it first into one of the directions or like one of the locations, which is either on one of the rage tower sides, which is like on the monolith and eagle side, or on the clan castle side. Let's say your blimp is going to make it through all of those traps. This means you have always on the back end another rage tower with a ton of key defenses you have to go through. And this is not easy whatsoever, especially if you're using super barbarians, and if the traps are split up between those two rage towers, it makes your life not easy whatsoever. So for example, on this base, we have the middle part, which are the two bomb towers, so it's not easy to get like both of the rage towers, for example. And we have on one side a lot of key defenses on the top right with the two scatters, two expos, the inferno towers, which is in theory more value. But then on the other side you have the traps, you have the heroes, for example, and all of those Tesla, which means this backend is not easy whatsoever, especially if you're not having a warden ability left anymore. So with that being said, Super Archer Blimps are not easy. But on top of that, we have now the anti-super boulder walls as well in there, which makes even smash attacks struggle quite a bit versus this type of base, which is not that common. Ring bases typically are always easy to attack with the super boulders, and this is not as easy anymore overall. So let's take a look at a couple of attacks and see how those top two strategies work versus this base. We have another attack, another Super Archer Blimp. And let me tell you, the majority of players are playing the same blimps. And this is kind of what you're looking for when building a base. Because even though, yes, I can say I've built this base, it is, I don't know, it doesn't really give me anything. Because ring bases, they're just like everything clumped together in the core, which is not really that healthy for the game in my opinion. Supercell even changed an entire game mode, the Night Village, because of those stacked core bases. So I guess we all have to rely on the hopefully good news that Supercell already said that after the World Championship they're going to have some balance changes for Town Hall 15. And that's so that the Rage Tower is one of them, because it is one of the most unhealthy defenses there ever was in Clash of Clans. But now at this point, to get back to the attack, we see most of the players are doing the blimp around the monolith. And we see already as well, they don't work that great. So a lot of 1-stars are getting forced with this. And a lot of times with the Super Barbarians, where you have to get close to the core, it's not even just like good and easy to save the first star. Because a lot of people are heavily committing to the Town Hall, not accepting that, well, the Town Hall is out of reach for them. Even though this guy is doing everything perfect. Take a look at that. He even delayed the wall break to make sure the wall break is targeting the wall around the bomb tower and not around the Expo, which would have led him into the wrong compartment. Now, Queen Ability is forced, but hey, there's another ground skeleton, so he's not making the Town Hall. At this point, we can all agree he should have committed to the 50% 1-star, but instead he's going for the, hero play, but is missing the Town Hall that's going to be a 0-star. And this is what happens quite a bit for Super Archer Blimps. Trust me, it's happening quite a bit. And this is not on low trophies. This is mid-tier trophy ranges. This is where a lot of people are playing those Super Archer Blimps. A lot of players are, for whatever reason, complaining about Super Archer Blimp strength. I don't understand it. As I said, I have like an 80% 1-star death rate. It is crazy easy to defend those. But let's talk about the Super Bowlers, which are in fact one of the biggest counters to any ring base. But with the new meta of those really heavy stacked Rage Tower areas, those two in the new ring bases, which are spread out more, you have those walls, the anti-Super Bowler walls, really making sure that the Super Bowlers have to get through the Town of Poison, which is a big deal, because not only the damage, but as well the attack speed reduction is quite a bit, and you're relying on the damage of the Super Bowlers. Let's take a look at the opening. Opening-wise, everything looks great. Warden Walk looks good, Flinger at the bottom side, everything is great, and then the Super Bowl is right in between. Because you don't want to attack from the top right side, it doesn't really make sense because you have the 2 sweepers there. With that being said, you can see it right there. Going in there with the 2 sweepers is not the nicest thing, but going to the Eagle might be the obvious choice. The Tesla are on the flanks, which are making the funnel really rough and making the troops split up, so there's less concentrated damage to get quickly into the core to overpower those defenses. Which means in the raged mode, they can deal a lot of damage to those troops, and this means in the end that, well, the core is not easy to overcome. As well, the clan castle timing is key with those bases. If you are placing your clan castle always close to the town like this, the ice golems are always going to be there in time, and your Super Bowlers are going to have a really rough time of getting their town hall down. And then the Super Bowlers are going to the bottom side, and they're coming back, but they have to pass the Town of Poison yet again to take damage and reduce their attack speed, which is not easy whatsoever. And in the end, it is a 2-star, but as I said, this is the strategy which is supposed to counter this type of base, and even that is not a guaranteed 3-star whatsoever. There's many things that can go wrong, and even things can go wrong if you're picking the wrong side with a 1-star. If you're getting attacked a lot by ground, just pick 3 ice golems, and there's in fact going to be a lot of 1-stars, but they're obviously then going to be weaker against things like super dragons and so on, if you do not have those archers in there. Otherwise, what can I tell you? This type of base is insanely strong right now. If you want to copy this specific base, the link is down below in the description if you want to give it a try. As always, bases will be copied, so you might have to adjust some traps, especially black mines, if the blimp angle is going to change. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if Supercell is going to balance some things. What balance changes are you looking for the most for Town Hall 15? What defense should be changed? Easier or harder? Let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you back tomorrow with the next one. Until then, see ya, and bye-bye.